Welcome back to another episode of Battle Talks. This week we have my boy Vonii Bristow from Winston, as I know him from WSSU. But I'll get into a little bit of who you are and your real upbringing and where you from. So kind of kick us off about your upbringing and where you from.
Okay. Yeah, so as my dog said, I'm Vonii Bristow from Greensboro, North Carolina. Winston-Salem State University alum, graduate. And yeah, grew up in Greensboro my entire life. Went to Allen Middle School, Dudley High School, well-known Dudley High School, historic high school. And then ventured over to Winston-Salem State. And from there, it's kind of a little bit everywhere.
Got you. So, like growing up, were you raised like single parent, married family? Like, how was that, and kind of what were some of the values you kind of grew that you kind of gained through that process of where you grew up at?
Yeah. I was largely raised by my grandmother. She was always in my life, and my mother as well. Lived with my mother for a period of time, and then we ended up moving with my grandmother. And then basically from then on out, my grandmother essentially did the central part of raising me. Now I'm fortunate in that there was a tribe, essentially. Like I had my aunts and uncle and siblings and things and other extended family. So I never felt as though I was fully without in terms of love, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
which was important and vital for my upbringing, because it always gave me two things. It gave me that mental support, but it also gave me that accountability factor, right? So that if I'm messing up, there are other people that are going to want to see me, about whatever it is I'm doing. So that helped keep me in check and helped me as I got older to develop that level of accountability that I feel like you need as an adult.
I got you. Yeah, so I mean that's like I said initially before I told you on the show, that's kind of how I started the podcast. You know what I mean? Just seeing how people get their upbringing and how they get it and the values they gain from that. A lot of times we don't really realize till we get older. As kids, you don't realize my grandma's my grandma, my mom's my mom. That's all you know.
Right.
And as you get older, you see like, oh, dang, they really taught me some stuff. Like they really was trying to put me on game to, you know what I mean? What was going on at the time. They just didn't see it. So then, like you said, after that, you move from Greensboro to Winston. For people who don't know, that's like what 20-minute drive down the street.
Yeah. If you're speeding, it's 20. It's about 30. Safely.
30, about 30. Safely 30. All right.
Right.
So get to Winston. You come in as a freshman. What was your initial thought of what you're gonna do there? What was your process of deciding to major and all that?
Man, look, I'll be honest with you. And it's funny. I was watching one of my homegirls. She had an interview earlier, and she was talking about her college experience, which I never knew. But she was saying that she didn't want to be there, and that was a lot of my initial feelings towards it. I knew what I wanted to do going into college. Now I didn't know how I was gonna do it, but I was aware that okay, I already have a vision for myself. So all of the majors, and I say all of the majors because during my time in Winston, I was in 3 different majors. So all of them were in a way like, okay, I'm still going to pursue what I want to do, but what can I get a degree in that will at least give me other knowledge bases that I could then apply to what I'm doing on down the road.
Gotcha.
So, yeah.
So what was your major?
So I started out as a mass comm major.
Okay.
Right, it seems pretty sensible to entertainment and things, but I got to a point. I like to be challenged. I'm real competitive. That's one of the like quiet things about me. People that know me know that, but I'm super competitive, and so if I don't feel challenged, I tend to get tired or something. So it just felt too easy, and I wasn't interested in it enough to sustain me. So then I switched to sport management, and anybody that took sport management at Winston-Salem State understands it's one of those top majors in terms of like you're going to get that support from Dr. Felder, and he's going to push you to be the best. And it's not a major you can do if you're not really trying to do it. And it's just, I mean, that's a testament to how that's just a testament to how great of an instructor he is and great of a family community he is.
Yeah, no, for sure. So if people who don't go to Winston or didn't go to Winston know Dr. Felder is super strict, direct. I didn't even have a sports management major, but I knew him, because of other people. And I played football,
Right.
so a lot of like athletes were sports management majors. But
Yeah.
I just know from them having one-on-ones at like 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning type stuff. Like he
Yes, sir.
did not play. So
At all.
yeah, that was crazy. But I also had 3 majors going through
Okay.
the process.
What were they?
Yeah, so I knew I was gonna be in tech. So
Okay.
I started out computer science.
Yeah.
First semester, like programming, OD. I'm like, bro, this too much programming. It's super technical. too much technical for me. So I
Yeah.
left, and then like I'm being like mentoring. So I was like, cool, social work would be another good space. So different sides of the
Mm-hmm.
spectrum completely.
Mm-hmm.
I got in, I was like, it's cool. I got in the class and I was the only dude. I always talk about that. Like I was the only dude in the class. I'm like, okay, cool. I can work with this. Like,
Yeah. It was a good situation.
But I got in and I was like, man, this really ain't for me. So I ended up finding another major, which is what I finished in, is MIS, Management Information Systems. I didn't even have no clue what it was about. Gotcha. So I didn't have no, you good. I didn't have no clue what it was about. So it was like business and tech. So basically a combination of business and tech. That was perfect. I got to see like the law side, the business side, statistics, accounting. You know what I mean? I got everything. So that was perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, I finished with that. But and then outside of that, so after you finished that, so where did you go after that? Because that's all I know. After that, I see you on TV and movies and shows. I'm like, what happened in between? So kind of what happened after that?
Okay, so I mean, I after sport management, I graduated with a degree in econ,
Okay.
and so right around the time I was an econ sport management to econ major, that's when I started really experiencing opportunities, bigger opportunities within my career. So while I was in school, I was still acting and I was still traveling to Atlanta. That was one of my initial work bases, Atlanta. And so I was, I'd be in class. And that's why it partially didn't work for me in sport management, because I would miss days at a time. And
Oh yeah.
he
Going for
would.
that.
Nah, no, not at all. He supported me. He truly supported me, but he made it so that I understood that it wouldn't work in this field, like in terms of what major. But I just kept pushing, man, and I took acting classes all through college, and I started acting before I got to college, but I took acting classes all through college. So after I graduated, I just really I still maintained being between North Carolina and Georgia for like those next 2 years until I was able to kind of spread out and just maneuver that way. So
yeah. So I didn't know that actually. So you was already in your mind, like you came in, you knew I'm acting, like this is entertainment business, what I want to do. So you already knew.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah.
So like you said, you fast forward a couple of years, so just like what, 2016, 2017, 2 years after the fact. And then from the break I seen you really get was Atlanta. So you came to Atlanta. Popped off. I'm like, oh, that's my boy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think I seen in between that time. I know I saw you do like the NBA All-Star Weekend. You was on one of the ads for them, like, stuff like that. So I'm like, okay, so you really getting into this. So like, how did you? I guess like, where did you find that big break of like, all right, cool, like I can really do this. Like I can really, you know what I mean? Stay in this business. Like this is what I really can do.
Man, when it got super, super real for me was probably that year. So I say those next 2 years, in my mind, I finished in 2014. I didn't. I finished in 2015. So it was really once I graduated through that next year, through 2016 and 17. But that first year after I graduated, man, I was pounding the pavement like crazy. And the universe kind of aligned in such a way that I was able to book like consecutively book projects, and not just the same character, or not just the same network, or not just the same type of show or type of project. It was commercial stuff, it was TV stuff, it was some film stuff. And I just felt like, okay, like I'm really in it now.
Yeah, yeah,
It's to the point where I see that, okay, I'm learning. I gone to a film festival. So I was just really placing myself in spaces that would allow God to, carry me really.
gotcha.
And so that year, that first year out, was like, okay, I know I could do it. Still haven't personally had a break of sorts, or a big break of sorts.
Right.
It's just about continually putting forth that effort for me at least, and the way my career has gone this far. So yeah.
So around that time, what was the first thing or, commercial or TV show you like, all right, this, like, I'm really on, like, I'm good now. Like, what show or thing really put you in that place?
I done a project for Lifetime
Mm.
called Surviving Compton,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
it was an experience. It wasn't so much of the like the size of my role per se, but it was just a role that came with a good amount of exposure.
Yeah.
Not only did it get exposure just in the people watching this sense, I was able to make connections through that role that allowed me to expand to LA. Um, so I'm thankful for that role because it allowed me, with anything you're doing, if you want to and you want to be better, you try to use every opportunity as a launching pad of sorts. And that's what it served for me. And I'm now with the representatives I got with in 2016 out in LA, I'm still with them. So it allowed me to forge relationships from an opportunity, from another opportunity. And we shot it far, well, not far, but it was like 8 hours from where I live. And I was there for about like a month and a half, something like that. So it was a good experience. It was like, yo, I'm
Gotcha.
really an actor.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Yeah, I checked that out. So I saw, like, my mom's like huge Lifetime, like most women
same.
are, Lifetime.
Right.
But I was like, oh, this is pretty dope. So for people who don't know, who haven't seen it, you play
Mhm.
Ice Cube, which is a influential character of, NWA,
Yeah.
throughout, you know what I
Right.
mean? So for me, that was seeing you in that role, I was like, oh yeah, like to me, that's the lead, like that's the lead in that crew of, what I'm saying, guys, like
Yeah.
outside of Drake, you know what I mean? So that
Right.
was big to see you in that role, doing that. And then, like I mentioned before, Atlanta came around, and one of my
Because
favorite
they were like consecutive
back to back.
months.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And after
Hmm.
that, so you was a guest on SnowFall. So how did that come throughout that
Yeah,
situation?
yeah, yeah. Man, so Snowfall came in a very different way. I originally auditioned for another character on the show, and ended up not getting was getting some traction, like through
Yeah,
my management and everything for the role. Ended up not getting the character, but casting evidently like my tape, and just I fit the a character they had coming up.
okay.
So then they offered me the character that I ended up getting, but that was like 2 years later.
Later.
I'd only had one other audition for Snowfall for a much smaller role, so I'm glad things worked out how
Yeah.
they did. And that was in the midst of another. I ended up having like career successions almost, like where in a certain period of time I end up getting things back to back to back, um, where they come out, you know, at the same time, or I'm shooting them at the same time, because when I shot Snowfall, I had just finished I just finished two other projects, like I shot all three of them within like a month, which was pretty cool. So yeah.
So, and the role you originally went for was smaller compared to the role that you did get.
Well, no, so I had two auditions for Snowfall. The first
Gotcha.
audition I ever had for it was smaller, but the second audition was a
Oh, was
substantial
big.
role.
Gotcha.
Yeah, yeah, but yeah,
Is that is that is that confidential information? I'm a huge fan of Snowfall, so I just want to know, like, is because I know a lot of well, pretty much all the characters.
yeah,
So
yeah.
is that
I'll tell you.
okay?
I'll tell
Okay.
you. Yeah,
After got okay, that's cool. That's cool.
yeah,
So I think, like, the biggest thing for me is like seeing you, like you said, you growing in that space and becoming successful more and continue to grow still. You know what I mean?
yeah. Sure.
What was the or what has been, or what still is the biggest obstacle that you having to overcome right now?
Um, right now, I'd say just trying to. That's funny. That's a loaded question, but I'm about to give a
Yeah.
loaded answer. Because I'm experiencing now. Because along my journey, I've learned because I've had other jobs within the film business aside from acting. Within me acting, which I mean I don't really. I mean because it's not as all right. You see them doing this like it's like
Right.
behind the scenes work. So I've had a journey with figuring out what kind of impression I want to leave within the industry and just what kind of what kind of art I want to create. And so I say all that to say um, the biggest obstacle has been figuring out how I want to see my acting career mixed with my writing career and
Mm.
mixed with my career as a director because I do that as well. And so all of that's been my biggest obstacle figuring out because I mean I'm from North Carolina, but like even though it's possible because I have a few other homies who are showing that it's possible currently,
Yeah.
um it's not Atlanta, it's not LA, it's not
Yeah.
New York, so it's
Yeah.
like it's a different level of hustle and grind that I feel like I had to take on and analyzing how I want to go about this and figuring it out. So yeah.
So I guess from perspective, like you said, you are trying to doing directing and writing now, outside of just
Mhm.
acting.
Right.
What are like the biggest difference makers in those roles? I say from directing to writing to acting. Like, I mean, I know they're all completely different, but like, what do you think is the hardest to maneuver between the three of those specifically? Because I mean, I'm not in the entertainment industry, so I can't really say.
Yeah. The I can express the difficulty in each or the difference in each,
Okay,
but I can't say so far which one is the hardest. So maybe, well, writing, right? You can always write, so you can always do that, but it's difficult to get the project made. Okay,
got you. Okay,
acting is difficult to get the jobs, but once you get the job, you just act.
right, yeah.
And directing, like you'll have to, and I'm just super trying to shorten in terms of like
No, it's cool. Yeah,
the
everybody's watching won't be, you know what I mean? That,
right,
you know what I mean? So we got you.
okay, and then as a director, um not all directors are writers, so as a director you have to not only show sample you would not only have to show your samples, but it's about, okay, does the production company then trust you to direct this project? And so writing is the only one almost you can really practice for super free. Now, acting you can too through learning monologues and things, but in terms of professionally being able to do them, they all have their like boundaries, you know what I mean, blockages. So
Got you. So just going forward, we kind of talked about it a little bit, but what'll be some of the more bigger aspirations of those fields, or like that you want to direct your attention into? Like, the directing is where you want to head mostly, or more bigger acting roles? Like, where's your focus right now?
man, definitely. So a month from now, restart a project we were shooting before COVID started. We were shooting it
Yeah.
during COVID, right when the shutdown happened. And it's a faith-based feature film called Making Him Famous. Shooting
Okay.
it in the Triad area, and I have a lead role in that, which it's my very first official lead role. So
Got you.
excited about that. You know what I mean? Just because it's a milestone, 11 years in it, and getting this opportunity is something I don't take for granted. And it's something that it's a story. I've been fortunate enough, I'll say, quick diversion, um, to be a part of projects that people actually enjoy,
Mm.
and that people actually watch, and that people wouldn't necessarily. I mean, no, I mean, people wouldn't necessarily were bad like scripts or
Right,
bad
right. Yeah,
projects.
yeah.
Because I mean, the stuff you see, and it's like, oh, this wasn't it.
Yeah,
Like,
I see a lot of actors say, they were like, yeah, that movie, it was terrible, but for us, it was like, oh, it was okay, but we didn't think about it. That's you guys' career. You know what I mean? That's on your resume. You know what I mean? So it makes sense.
I'm about to put it on Do Not Disturb. I'm sorry.
Oh no, you good, you good. I know if it was
Let
the
me see.
Wi-Fi. I'm thinking it's the Wi-Fi. You right.
I know. Look, I'm about to exercise this Do Not Disturb right quick.
Yeah, I do it every time. I think my meeting actually do it for me automatically, but yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
But no, what I was saying was, like you said, we see actors and producers and directors be like, that movie wasn't all that, or it didn't do good. For us, it's like, it's okay. We watched, it was okay, but for you, it's like, or the industry is like, this is a part of my resume. This is my career. This is what I did. You know what I mean? So it's a little different for y'all than us.
It's there forever.
Right. Yeah, like your work experience. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly what it is, right? Like
Yep.
every other job essentially has, training periods. If you mess up, all right, cool. Like our mess ups are like permanently there.
Yeah.
And you're expected to come in as a professional, and it's a mindset that I appreciate now, and fully understand. That just comes with more age and more understanding, because there's a period probably with anybody where it's like, okay, I'm here. I was selected to be here, but now I have to prove myself. Or now, like, do they really want me here? Or just all those random thoughts that come into play. Like, am I qualified enough? But you get to a point, and I'm fully there, where it's like, okay, I'm a professional. Like, I was hired because they're hiring me to do a particular job. Like, so let me go into it with the expertise and the knowledge that I have, and you execute. You know what I mean? And so,
no,
and
for
to your
sure.
question, oh, my fault. Go ahead.
No, you good. Yeah.
When you said that's on the acting side. On the directing and writing side, I have a short film. It's titled Ghostwriter, and we shot it actually during the pandemic. Everyone was 100% safe. It was a safe project and successful project, and we're about a month out from total completion, so then we can enter film festivals and things. This is my third short film that I've directed and written, but it is the largest in terms. It's a 20-minute film.
Okay.
So super excited. So I had to mention that in terms of that's where, and I still write other projects like pilots, and I'm writing a feature right now. But yeah.
No, I get it. And I've seen, like, that's like a thing, like the short films more have been pushed more. Like even in the movie theaters, like I would go, like I'm a big movie goer. So I go, they'll have like short projects they'll throw in the beginning of movies, like pre-COVID, everything. You know what I mean? So like that I could see like that space starting to grow a lot more, you know what I mean, because of that, and giving like even, college kids kind of like an entryway to start their writing process or directing process too. So I listen, if it was me, I'll feel the exact same way you feel with getting, you know what I mean? That's it's big because you know what I mean? I just hear a lot of people or in the industry, in that industry, speak about like how it is to be Black, and to see people we feel like are huge. It's like, yeah, it's only like, one Denzel, like, it's only a couple of these people compared to, you know what I mean, other races, you know what I mean? It's completely different, for us. So when we get those opportunities, it's huge, you know what I mean? So it's my hat's off to you, man, doing your thing for sure.
Thank you.
What would you give someone advice that's in your industry, like college kid, high school, middle school kid that want to get into, the entertainment business, want to act? What would be some of the pointers you would give them?
The simplest ones would be have fun. Make sure you're having fun.
Yep.
Know why. Oh no, go ahead. No, it's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
Make sure you're having fun. Know your why, right? And that's applicable to anything you're doing, but especially this, because it'll weed you out. It's unless you strike success early. I've seen people that were in it with me, not necessarily when I started, but in my earlier years in it, and that no longer act. And it's weird looking at, because it's like, man, I thought you had the same passion for it as I did, but people are in it for different reasons. You know what I mean? After all, like, it's being on TV. Like, that's
yeah.
cool. It's still cool to me. Like, when I look at homies that I know, because it's to the point when I was, my brother was just telling me, he was telling his fiance, he was like, look, he was like, when you watch the show with Vonnie, you got to ask him, like, do you know that person? Because there are a lot of people that I know or I've come across, and so I get excited about that. Like, oh, I know them and they on TV.
Yeah.
Like that's not what I do, but it's still just that's that motivation that comes from seeing other people succeed. For me, it's like, okay, I gotta make sure I'm staying on it because they own it. So I just, and not knowing their circumstances, but it's just like, yeah, I gotta make sure I stay within my lane and within my box so that I can be the best me for when the opportunity comes.
Yeah, no, for sure. That's even across our industry though. Like, even me being in the tech space, like, people like, yeah, it's big. People see tech now, it's like, that's where the money is. Or listen, if you don't have a why in the tech, or if you don't, what I'm saying, that's your passion, you're gonna get thrown out there and you're gonna get sick of it real quick. Cause you're like, all right, cool, I want to be a software engineer. Okay, it sounds cool. You see, the dollar figures. You start coding or whatever. That's not what I do, but I'm just saying, like, just people see that as like the go-to job. You know what I mean? Like, in the tech space. Listen, like you said, if you don't have that why and you're not having fun with what you do, it's over. It's over real fast. Like, it's gonna be over real soon. And even in that space, like, probably similar to, like, you guys, like, in that space of finding roles that fit you too. Like, you can't just go out like, oh, I want to be a comedian style actor, like, and you're not funny, nobody, you know what I'm saying? Like, nobody gonna care. Yeah.
Yeah, you're not gonna get that.
right. You know what I'm saying? So it makes sense in that space. So just want to close out in a little bit. I want to take up all your time. Who are some of the people you would like to work with before it's all said and done in your career? Just kind of, or before their career.
Yeah, man, shoot. I think the first one's definitely Denzel, just because it's like, to say I work with Denzel, that'd just be like, that'd be crazy. But Denzel, Mahershala Ali.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a cool cat. I actually had the opportunity to meet him.
Okay.
So that was a dope thing. I'd like to work with Leonardo DiCaprio.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd also like to work with Miss Viola Davis.
Legendary.
I have like two more. My fault. These are there's some people that I really want to work with. I'd like to work with Sanaa Lathan.
Okay.
Yep. Regina King.
Okay. Yeah, she's killing
We're
right
actually,
now.
Forgive me, King and Hall.
Okay. Got you.
Yeah.
No, King is killing right now though. Like, she's next level, like, to see where she started from to now. So for sure. All of them. Not take away from anybody else, but
and that's how it happens. Like, in the entertainment industry, everybody has their way, or however it goes. Like, and I mean, she's been doing it all her life, but she's such a multi-talented person, from voiceover to voiceover animation to on screen to behind the camera, on TV, film, like everything. And people like that, they just have like a wealth or breadth of knowledge that I feel like they could impart me, somebody who's trying to fill all those lanes. But then lastly, on the directing side, I like to work with Spike Lee. Okay. And there are others, Martin Scorsese and things, but I definitely want to be in the Spike project because I like how he inserts his artistry into every one of his projects. And the Christopher Nolans, the Scorseses, they all do that as well. But Spike, just because,
Spike.
I gotta work
that's like the Denzel, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. I thought you were gonna throw Jordan Peele in there, but I get it's a different lane too. So
it's no, because I saw Get Out. I think I saw Get Out in the theaters like twice. I saw Us in the theaters I think I saw it like 3 times. So now Jordan Peele is one too. It's just when I'm thinking about the people that might turn, you know what I mean? I'm young still, so it's like,
yeah, he's still kind of newer compared to a lot of those, like, in that space. Yeah.
Because then they're gonna start getting pickier about, like, all right, I might do one project every 3 or 4 years instead of many of them. So it's like, man, I gotta get in there.
Nah, for sure, man. Nah, but I definitely appreciate you having you on, man. Take your time out your
Yeah.
schedule to, jump on the podcast with me. But definitely
Oh no, thank you.
look out for this interview coming out. Any socials you want to give people? I know I saw your website, VonnieBristow.com, your social,
Yeah,
Instagram,
yeah.
Facebook, stuff like that, how they can reach you.
For sure. The quickest way to get to me is really Instagram. I mean, I hate to say it, but I'm millennial now, but it's
Yeah.
at Vonii K, VONIIK.
Okay.
That's my Instagram. My production company is Cliff's Edge Productions, and that's spelled at Cliffs CLIFFS Edge P
Okay.
on Instagram as well. And I'm super responsive, and like if somebody watches this and has questions about or interest in terms of the career and everything, like I'm an open book, man, because that, and to answer one of your other questions, my hardest obstacle has been not really having somebody to impart a whole lot of, okay, go this route, do this. Like everything I've done, every door I've entered has been from me scoping it out myself. You know what I mean? So
Gotcha.
yeah.
No, that makes sense for sure, man. And like I said, man, I appreciate you having you on, and
Nah,
this
thank
was
you.
this will be up soon, and I appreciate you having you on again, man. Have a good one.
Hey, look, we'll talk soon.
Yes, sir. All right, man.
All right, peace.
All right.